Hey guys, welcome back to some more F1 2017 and part 16 of Season 1 of our Renault career mode, and today we have the Belgian Grand Prix. In between episodes, there's been quite a bit of time for me. I've been very busy in September so far, so I haven't had much chance to play this game, but I do remember that we tried to develop the chassis in the last episode. And obviously with it being the summer break from Hungary over to Spa, that update got sort of through, but unfortunately it failed, so we have to spend another 500 resource points on getting that done. We will see. Chris recommends doing that apparently, so you know, we'll have a look at that. But no, things are looking good in the championship at the moment. That's the interest of respective teams. The most interested teams in me are McLaren, Sauber and Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso would possibly be the most interested out of them. You know, but we're quite happy at Renault at the moment. And I think we'd only really move for the sort of top 4 teams at the moment. So yeah, that's the season so far. We've had a lot of good point scoring finishes. We've finished in the points 4 times in a row now. Can we make it 5? That's going to be the question this weekend. That's how the power units are looking. We may take a new one this weekend, depending on what the pace is like. But there's been a patch as well that's apparently sorted out the gearbox issues. So hopefully we can stretch that to 6 races before it starts showing a fault, and then we can change that without a grid penalty. But with that being said, I'll now hand over to the qualifying report. Qualifying took place today around the historic Spa-Francorchamps circuit, and in Q1 it was Kevin Magnussen in the Haas that was the big shock. He went out in 16th along with the 2 Saubers and McLarens as usual. Going into Q2, and it was Nico Hulkenberg who just missed out on getting through to Q3, qualifying in 11th place. He will move up to 10th though, because Esteban Ocon takes a penalty for taking a fresh power unit and will start at the back. Going out in Q2 along with Hulkenberg were Perez, Stroll, Sainz and Kvyat. Into Q3 then, and it was between Ferrari and Mercedes in the battle for pole position, as Red Bull once again were unable to compete. Kimi Raikkonen and Sebastian Vettel versus Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton. But it was the Briton fighting for the championship lead this weekend who took pole position for the Belgian Grand Prix, with Sebastian Vettel in 2nd, Valtteri Bottas in 3rd and Kimi Raikkonen in 4th. It's going to be a great Grand Prix. Let's get into it.
Anthony Davidson is alongside me in the commentary box to take you through all the action today. Now, it's a closely matched field here in Spa, so where do you think we're going to see somebody make a difference?
If they're as close as we're expecting them to be, especially through the midfield, then being able to keep the front tyres in good condition could make the difference. You always lose a chunk of downforce at the front when you're in the turbulent air of another car, which tends to cause understeer, which in turn causes front tyre degradation. Now, too much damage there could force an early pit stop and put you at a slight disadvantage, so the drivers will want to be careful not to be too aggressive early on in the Grand Prix.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Bottas, Raikkonen, Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen, Massa and a Renault, Grosjean and Nico Hulkenberg, Perez, Stroll, Carlos Sainz and Kvyat, Magnussen, Alonso, Pascal Wehrlein and Stoffel van Dorn, Ericsson and Esteban Ocon rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, remember to brake early for turn 1, as the pack's going to bunch up. There's plenty of runoff if things get too close.
Right guys, here we are down on the track. Yeah, qualifying P8, that's not too bad on my return to the game. It took us a while to get used to the car again, but after a few laps I managed to get a decent pace. This is the setup I've gone for: 4-3 wings, and then most of the rest is just generic. I've went for a higher pressure on the brakes, as I've done in the past before. So yeah, I think it should be a good race. P8, Nico Hulkenberg down in 11th, but not too far from getting through to Q3, so I think we've got the pace here, and it'll be a one-stop, obviously only 11 laps around Spa. It is looking a bit cloudy, so we might have the possibility of some rain throughout the race, which would probably mix it up a little bit. But yeah, Ocon obviously had a penalty to go down to the back of the field, meaning that Hulkenberg got up to P10 after penalties, which is good to see. It is good to see. So yeah, hopefully you guys are good, still enjoying the series. We're still getting a decent amount of views on the F1 videos, which is good to see. A decent amount of likes and things like that. And yeah, we'll be getting through to the end of Season 1 in the next couple of weeks, and then we'll be going on to Season 2. Whether we're still at Renault or not, I don't know. If we get an offer from one of the big teams, I might be inclined to take it. But no, the pace of the Renault is good, and hopefully we can continue having good positive results towards the end of the season. Try and finish 4th in the Constructors and in the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship. That's the plan. Really good race over the weekend at Singapore. Yeah, obviously a crazy start to it with the Ferraris crashing out with Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton going through to win the Grand Prix. It's probably won him the championship, that race. He's now 28 points ahead of Vettel, so more than a race victory. And as long as Hamilton's reliability is fine, you would imagine that he's going to win the championship now, because there will be races that Hamilton wins between now and the end of the season. So yeah, I guess it would be nice if we could go down to the final race of the season like in 2014, so, and last year of course. So yeah, hopefully Vettel can do that. But our focus for today is beating Felipe Massa, our rival. We're behind in the rivalry at the moment. Obviously he out-qualified us in 7th place, so a good start today is necessary if we want to get past him, and obviously finishing ahead of our teammate Nico Hulkenberg. Hopefully he can get a few points today though. That is the plan, but we never know what's going to happen here around Spa, and it's certainly going to be one of the better races of the season. I think I won it last year, to be honest with you. I might have. I can't remember with McLaren, but it was wet, and I remember we qualified on pole. I think they called the video Michael Schumacher-esque or something like that. It's crazy what I can remember, but here we go then. Ready for the start of the race. I kind of want to put it up into rich revs. I forgot to change the power unit before qualifying, so we are running an older power unit. But here we go, ready for the lights. Lights out, away we go here in Belgium. Very quick release of the lights, sort of caught me out there, and it's a bit of a poor start, but we should be able to get Grosjean back up the inside into turn 1. We're 3 wide there, I believe. Oh, with Verstappen as well, he's off the track, and Massa around our outside. We managed to get past him, but he's going to have the slipstream going up the hill. We're now closing in on Raikkonen. Can we somehow grab some sort of a slipstream and get a bit of pace up the Kemmel Straight? Massa having a look around the outside. We're going to just hold the inside line and defend, and through the first sector we're up to 6th place. That's a good start for us, and hopefully now we can close in on Kimi Raikkonen. They all seem to be squabbling for position up ahead. It looks like Hamilton sort of broke the field, and then Bottas, Vettel, Ricciardo and Raikkonen are fighting for positions 2 to 5. We've sort of broke Massa so far, but the Williams straight line speed will play a factor going into the next lap. So we've got to break that DRS. That's the first objective of today, and then just sort of settle into our own rhythm around here. We've went for a lower downforce setup, so through this middle sector we're likely to struggle today, and that's why Massa's probably closed up. But no, we're only 1.2 seconds behind Kimi Raikkonen. If we can get that to under a second and maybe hang on to the DRS, then this little pack up ahead could pull us along throughout this race. So here comes Felipe Massa having a look down the inside. He shouldn't have the momentum. He's still there. And we have contact. And we're into the barrier. That is unbelievable. And we're away. We just managed to turn that around. But we've lost all of the front wing now. And yeah, it looks like this race is going to be a bit of a disappointing one, just like Baku. Remember where we had that incident and ended up at the back of the field, but I think we still managed to get a 10th place out of that, if I remember correctly. We've just got 0 downforce. We're going to switch to the soft tyres and hopefully manage to go at the end of the race, and maybe there'll be a safety car or rain or something like that, just an equaliser. But that incident with Massa is very, very annoying. It wasn't Baku, it was Canada, of course, which was one of our stronger circuits. And yeah, yet again, Belgium. We've messed it up. It looks like Massa's got away with it in terms of damage. I don't know if he's lost a bit of his front wing as well, but yeah, he was just down the inside and we turned in on him. We just held our line, really. There was no way around it. What about Ericsson? He's coming into the pits, so I'm assuming he's got some sort of problem, but here we come into the pits then. A lot earlier than we were anticipating. But if we can get onto the soft tyres, hopefully there'll be a safety car or something throughout this race, just to bunch us back together, and then we can utilise our pace. You know, obviously we've got a long pit stop with the change of the front wing. Ericsson's away and we're away, so just ahead of Massa, so I'm assuming he changed his front wing as well. Just be careful on the pit exit here. And we're away. 19th place, that is really not what we wanted, and we've got Massa right behind us coming up Eau Rouge. Are we going to have a repeat of what happened on the last lap? He is right behind us and he will have DRS. So here comes Felipe Massa having a look down the inside, but not managing to have the pace on us for some reason. I don't know what the difference was that lap that he didn't have the previous lap. Maybe he's put a little bit more downforce on the car.
Stay out of lean mix in order to reduce the load.
I'm really not sure, but we'll stick it into standard for now. Just try and settle back in to this car. It's the first time I've ran soft tyres since I've come back to this game, so it'll be a little bit of an adjustment, but hopefully we can get to the end of the race and get something out of it. So closing in on Marcus Ericsson in the Sauber, it's actually painful looking at how slow they are, and he's kind of holding us up in this middle sector. It's a shame that we didn't come onto the back of him on a straight. The dirty air, that was terrible there, but we should be able to pass him on this straight fairly easily. We're gonna just back out of it for now. I don't want to risk anything. We're going to have a look down his inside into the bus stop chicane. Coming down the inside, he's fighting us. He is fighting us, to give him credit. And we're through, and hopefully he can hold up Felipe a little bit. And then we've got Esteban Ocon next up. I'm assuming he's already pit. I'm not actually sure. I don't know if we were just behind him on the track when we came into the pit. Maybe we were, but Ocon started 20th, so probably a good sort of idea of the ballpark we're in here. So we've actually made up some positions in Alonso pitting. And we can actually see Pascal Wehrlein visibly ahead on the track, so we have got pace around here. we knew that from qualifying. We're starting to make positions back up, but I don't think we're going to get into the points. We're sort of beyond the realms of where a safety car would be possible now. It's maybe just sort of if there's a big incident or something that's going to get us back up there, but you can see how much quicker we are than Pascal Wehrlein. I don't know if he's on... I don't know if he's just on old super softs and that's why we're catching him up now, but you know, it's quite embarrassing how slow the Saubers are. It really is, considering how sort of 4 or 5 years ago they were getting podiums. So yeah, but then again, it's the same for McLaren, I guess. Right, going around the outside now of Wehrlein, and we're through. It was a little bit dodgier than I hoped, and we're now... Whoa, there's a yellow flag. Don't know what's happened. Somebody behind us, is it? Or... Really not sure. Is somebody out of the race? It looks like somebody is out of the race. We're up to 16th. Fernando Alonso is out of the race. But I don't think it'll be a safety car, so... We're not quite getting the rub of the green today, unfortunately. And it just seems like one of those races. There's more people in the pits now, though. Van Dorn, to name but one, and then there's Sainz as well. So hopefully we can make a move on both of these. Sainz will probably be a little bit too quick for us, considering he's on the ultra soft tyres right at the end of the race, as we're on older softs. But we're up to 15th now. So here we are on the final lap. We've just about caught up to Carlos Sainz. Yeah, it's been a tough race. You know, we're not finishing in the points, and it's all down to that incident. We probably lost 30 seconds or something in that incident because, yeah, we spun round obviously and then lost the time for not having a front wing. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see whereabouts we would have finished. Probably about 6th. You know, that's where we were battling with Felipe Massa, and then he eventually retired from the race. I'm assuming it wasn't as a direct sort of cause, or as a direct consequence of our little incident, but you never know. You never know. I assume it was a engine failure. I think you can check these things actually, so we might have a look at the end of the race. So I think 6th place would have been probably where we'd finished. Verstappen might have got us at some point in the race, but nevertheless, it's a shame and some points missed out on. Valtteri Bottas has won the Grand Prix, which is quite a surprise. Have to keep an eye on our fuel through this final sector. We've only got about 0.8 of a lap left. Make that 0.6, 5. Are we going to be fine? I really don't know. I might just about make it, but I am going to put it down into standard because there's not much point basically. I don't think we're going to get Carlos Sainz up to the line. We've got DRS enabled up to the finish, but we come through and it's 15th place. Very, very disappointing. And we'll have to go into Italy in the next episode, trying our best to overturn that. That was really disappointing, but these things happen. Racing incident on the track, and yeah, let's see what's happening.
Oh, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Anthony, what do you think made the difference here?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here come our winning drivers then, out onto the podium at the end of a thrilling Grand Prix. The drama and excitement are over, and it's time to let it all sink in. Congratulations to our top 3 today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Lewis Hamilton takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship after an excellent result. And now I'd like to ask you, Anthony Davidson, who was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
On to the constructors then. Mercedes moved to the top of the table. It was great having you with us for this weekend. I hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Until next time though, goodbye.
So there we have it then. We only finished... Oh, actually, that's Nico Hulkenberg. Let's have a look. We only finished 40.5 seconds behind the race leader, which places us about 5th. If we had that extra 30 seconds, I guessed we'd sort of lost. But, you know, ultimately we would have had a decent points finish, but never mind. I think Perez has done very well to finish 4th there. That's one thing of note. Hulkenberg very disappointing in 12th. And yeah, you had that retirement of Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso. Let's have a look at the race director. And it was mechanical failures for both Felipe Massa and Fernando Alonso. Collision with Ericsson, I think that was as a result of the whole Massa situation. But looking at the championship, we're down to 8th now. Perez has moved above us. Lewis Hamilton moves to the top of the drivers' standings, 3 points ahead of Sebastian Vettel in 2nd. Nico Hulkenberg still in, well, sorry, down to 11th place. In the constructors, we're still in 4th. Only a point ahead of Force India, though. They've had a good weekend this time around, and we're going to have to really pick up the pace if we are to finish 4th in the championship. If you've enjoyed that, make sure you leave a like down below. It really does mean a lot for me and for the channel. It's been great to see the growth recently. We've passed 1550, I think yesterday, something like that. So yeah, keep the support coming. I really appreciate it, and we'll be back in hopefully a couple of days for the next episode, which will be the Italian Grand Prix, I would imagine. Maybe it'll be a classic car thing, I really don't know. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. So we've had a bit of a contract event pop up at the end of the Grand Prix. Let's see what it's all about.
You'll like this. I just got out of a meeting with the boss and, well, congratulations. You've done a great job. Here.
So, we've had a team promotion. Dear Joe, your performance on and off the track has been exceptional. Why, thank you. Senior management have decided to promote you to first driver. We expect exemplary performance from you, and in return you'll receive additional R&D resource points for every race. We look forward to our continued success. That's great. So that now means that we get some sort of bonus, I think. I think it's 5% extra once we've done a race as the first driver. As you can see, we've now got 5 races done on that gearbox. This power unit's shot, so we'll have to do something about that next weekend. But yeah, let's have a look at the R&D stuff. We've got 820. We've got this upgrade that's recommended. We might as well go for it. So that's sort of 320. Can we do any other? There's that one for 600. Yeah, we'll have a look at that in the next episode. But no, a nice little thing to come back to after a challenging race, to say the least. We've become the first driver now, and we've sort of got, how many races? We've got 8 races left this season, so we'll be pushing hard, trying to finish in 7th, I guess. I don't think we're going to quite get up to 6th in the Drivers' Championship, but we'll try our best. If we can get to 100 points, that would be brilliant, but that might not be terribly realistic. We're in the top 26% of the career mode scores, which isn't too bad. But yeah, I guess I will round off the episode now. If you did enjoy, make sure you do leave a like, and yeah, hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.